The operation began at 0400 with a descent into absolute darkness. Their target lay 4 kilometers down.
I am Commander Elena Vasquez, 70 dives. None like this.
With every meter, the surface world recedes. You enter a realm governed by crushing pressure and eternal night. At 1,000 meters, life becomes light. Bioluminescence is the only currency here.
The hull groans under 400 atmospheres of pressure.
The abyssal plain, a desert of sediment, and there, the shattered remains of the Kronos dream. Life had already taken residence. The ocean consumes everything, eventually.
According to the plans, the safe was in the owner's suite, bolted to the deck. If it survived.
I extended the arms. In this environment, every movement is deliberate, amplified. One mistake could trap us.
Hours passed. The wreck was deteriorating, but engineered components held on. I searched for a titanium box.
The most delicate phase began, attaching the harness. A dance with 4,000-meter consequences.
Each connection had to be perfect. The load during ascent would be enormous.
"90 minutes later, the lifting cable arrived from the Prometheus, a thread connecting the abyss to the world above.
Intercepting the cable was its own challenge. Currents could sway it, miss, and we lose precious time.
But first, it had to be freed. The corroded bolts held it fast. I selected the diamond saw.
One, then two. Each cut took minutes, each a release of tension. Life here is curious. Grenadiers, eelpouts. They watched us dismantle this piece of their world. The final connection severed. The safe was free. It now belonged only to the harness and the cable.
I withdrew to a safe distance. Now, the moment of truth. The lift. I sent the signal. Commence primary lift. The word felt too small for the action.
For a moment, nothing. Then, it broke free. A billowing cloud of ancient sediment. Visibility dropped to 0. We tracked it by sonar alone. There it was, ascending,
a titanium cube on a string, beginning its 4-kilometer journey home.
We were visited by an ancient predator, a 6-gill shark. It assessed our prize and found it wanting. 1,000 meters. The blue returns. It feels like rising from a dream, a very heavy dream. The mothership, a shadow against the sun, a sign that the world still existed.
Surface waves introduced a pendulum swing. Too much, and the harness could fail. We watched, helpless. Then, air, light, sound. The sensory shock of the surface world was always violent. They secured my vessel first. The safe was still 20 minutes behind me, climbing the final meters.
I stepped onto the deck. The air tasted different, lighter, charged with anticipation.
And there it was, emerging from the deep, streaming the Pacific from its skin.
The final maneuver, guiding $800 million onto a rubber mat.
A strange stillness fell. The object of the mission was here, among us. It felt alien.
The harness came off, each connection documented. The ocean's grip was finally relinquished.
The cleaning began. A ritual wash, removing the deep seal's fingerprint.
Beneath the mud were biofilms, life that had claimed the safe as its own.
The barnacles were stubborn, each one a calcified tenant, evicted.
Hours passed. The sun climbed, then fell. Through meticulous work, the safe re-emerged.
By late afternoon, it was clean. Only the lock mechanism, filled with abyssal grit, remained.
We gathered around it. No celebration, just a quiet acknowledgement. We had done it.
I thought of the watch inside. Its value was meaningless down there. Only the recovery mattered.
The deep sea keeps its secrets. But not this one. Not anymore.
The ocean gives up nothing easily. Every recovered object carries the weight of its retrieval.
Ashore, they would attempt to open it. Here, we merely ensured its stability for the journey back. At dawn, we set course for port. The mission was over, but the story was not yet complete. Three months ago, the Kronos Dream fought a storm it could not win. The watch was in its safe, unaware. The crew's bond was forged in depth and pressure. We didn't talk about the value. We talked about the work.
In the quiet, the abyss followed you up. The darkness, the silence.
Port, the interface between the ocean realm and the land, where our prize would change hands.
We prepared the safe for its final transfer, handling it like a museum artifact, which, in a way, it was.
There was no fanfare. A nod was enough. Professional respect for a job completed.
And just like that, it was gone. Our central purpose, rolling away to a vault.
The next phase began under controlled, clinical conditions. The goal? To open the safe without damaging the contents.
I thought of the journey it took to get here. The pressure, the cold, the careful hands in the dark.
After hours of work, the lock disengaged. The door was now just a barrier, no longer a secret. There it was, the watch, unscathed by the apocalyptic journey it had endured.
The conservation process was as delicate as the salvage. Every diamond, every gear was assessed.
And then, it ticked. Life returned to the mechanism. Time, which had...
I saw the news reports. They called it a triumph of technology. They never mentioned the color of the abyss.
I wept a vial of the sediment, a reminder of where it had been and where we had gone to get it.
The ocean moved on. The wreck site continued to settle, to be colonized. The story was now ours to carry.
Returning to normal life was the hardest dive of all. The surface world felt too loud, too fast. For the insurers, it was a case study in risk and recovery. The numbers justified the expense.
But for the craftsmen, it was something else. A piece of their art had returned from an impossible journey. The mechanism was perfect. The safe had done its job. The ocean's pressure had tested every seal, and they held.
I revisited the footage. Not the highlights, but the long, quiet hours. The emptiness. This was the real treasure. Not the value, but the proof.
Ownership was formally transferred. The asset was back on the ledger.
This time, the mission was science, mapping an unknown ecosystem. The value was knowledge.
The connection is everywhere. The surface sea reflects the deep, just a little brighter.
Descent felt like returning to a familiar, foreign country. The rules were the same. Respect the pressure. Trust your machine.
And there it was. Not wreckage, but a castle of the deep. A never-before-seen world.
This was the real treasure. Life that had never known sunlight. Our lights were its first dawn.
In that moment, I understood. We weren't just salvagers. We were witnesses. That was the purpose.
We took samples with reverence, pieces of this new world to study in the light.
Their joy was the true reward. The watch funded expeditions, but this was the dividend.
Look at this concentration, it's incredible.
2 vials now. One of loss, one of discovery. Both stories from the deep.
The operation saved a watch worth a fortune, but it also revealed a truth. The greatest treasures are...
The path led from salvage to science. The skills were the same, only the purpose had shifted.
Sharing the vision was part of the mission, making the unseen seen.
The map of the deep was being redrawn, not just by bathymetry, but by stories of loss and discovery.
Each point was a question answered, and a dozen new questions asked.
The vessels got smaller, the teams more specialized. The goal was no longer recovery, but revelation.
Elena, look at the screen in the window. The readings are spiking, and the visual confirmation, it's a new species of thermophilic polyps.
We found the engine rooms of the deep, hydrothermal vents, where chemistry creates life without the sun. This was the true treasure, not crafted by human hands, but by the planet itself.
I had felt that awe, that violent, beautiful shock of seeing a world beyond your imagination.
We gathered data like gold, each measurement a piece of a puzzle 4 billion years in the making.
In a single dive, we could discover organisms that might rewrite chapters of biology.
The contrast was absolute. From retrieving a dead object to documenting a living, breathing world.
We gathered data like gold, each measurement a piece of a puzzle 4 billion years in the making.
In a single dive, we could discover organisms that might rewrite chapters of biology.
The contrast was absolute. From retrieving a dead object to documenting a living, breathing world.
My home became a museum of the deep. Each image a window, each sample a key.
We stand on the brink of the last great frontier. Its value isn't in what we can take, but in what we can learn.
I taught my daughter to see the ocean, to look at a tide pool and know it is a cousin to the abyss.
That curiosity, that respect, that was the true thing salvaged from the deep. And it was priceless.
They say we go to the deep sea to find monsters or treasure. We go to find ourselves.
The incredible operation saved a watch, but it saved something in me too. And that was the real recovery.
The story was passed down, not as a tale of wealth, but of a puzzle solved at the bottom of the world.
The current was from the north that day, I told her. See how the debris fans out?
Thanks, Joy.
The watch was a symbol. The bolt was real. One represented aspiration, the other reality.
Was it worth it? The cost, the risk for a watch?
It was worth it for the yes, I said. The yes to the question, can we? That yes opens every other door.
The watch found its final resting place, not on a wrist, but under glass. A story frozen in time. In its polished surface, I sometimes think you can still see the dark.
The storms still come. You learn to read them differently. Not as a threat, but as a force.
The missions got smaller, more urgent. A data core holding a year of climate observations. Its value was in the future.
This recovery took minutes, not hours. The skill was the same. The respect for the depth was the same.
The data was intact. A year of the ocean's voice, saved from the silence. This was the real salvage now.
This was my place.
The stories she wanted were not of treasure, but of life. The strange, beautiful life.
The watch was saved. The sea was heard. The story continues.
My mother went down to find a lost object. She returned with a purpose, to ensure nothing vital is ever lost down there again.
The offering was both of the earth and of human hands. A fitting tribute.